Welcome back to the Riot Games Arena here. It is finally time to kick off split number 3 here for the LTA. We're on day 2 of week 1, and we're in the middle of this best of 3 between Team Liquid and 100 Thieves. Now, the first game was pretty slow to start, and then 100 Thieves started building a lead, but one big blunder right before Baron spawned. Team Liquid catches out the carries. Team Liquid slams a fight, and for the rest of the game, the Thieves never found their footing again.
I mean, that's kind of the thing about League of Legends is all plays are not created equal, right? You know, you make a mistake like that before a dragon or by a scuttle, you lose something small.
Yeah.
You make that mistake at 24.5 minutes right by the Baron, you usually just lose the game, right? And that is the reality of the game, is that these swings can be so massive when you make a mistake around these big objectives.
And the big thing I want to see from both teams going into this game too, I actually thought both of them were like pretty hesitant around some of their objective sets, around some of their fights, especially TL with this top side they drafted for themselves. I actually thought 100 Thieves were in such a good position until that Baron setup, right? So we see 100 Thieves on the blue side this time. They will be taking away the Ziggs and also the Aurora first. I think the Ziggs is a great ban.
Yeah, it is. It did get, you know, a lot of buffs recently, and there was a lot of talk about that, you know, coming back for AP8 in particular, who's known as a Ziggs guy. But quite a bit of focus towards him thus far from 100 Thieves. They're going to keep the Varus ban, not wanting to first pick it here on the blue side, but not wanting to give it over to Yeon, who to me was still that kind of big shining star in this game for TL. I thought he played really, really well on the Kai'Sa. And it was kind of a similar story, I think, to last split, where I did feel like the top side of the map was not always looking as cohesive, but Core and Yeon were playing very well and were kind of those standouts.
All right, let's see how 100 Thieves wants to play this one, as it is the Aurora, Ziggs, Varus banned out by 100 Thieves, Azir, Gwen, Pantheon banned out by TL. Much less targeted bans on the Team Liquid side. These are just generally good picks across those 3 roles that they want to remove. And 100 Thieves is looking like they are just going to go with a fast first lock Senna here.
Yeah, and that's a little surprising. I mean, FBI is a really excellent Senna player, right? And I actually did like TL's Senna ban on 4-5 last draft, because I did think 100 Thieves could have been potentially setting up for a Senna pick with that draft as well. But there are ways to deal with her, so picking her early in this draft, in my opinion, is a little bit risky. Obviously, one of the ways to deal with her is the Lucian. The Lucian is out because of Fearless.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, you know, how it actually goes. Do they try to match scaling with scaling? Because sometimes people will just go like Smolder or Jinx or Zeri and play like Zeri Lulu or things like that, that, you know, you're saying, okay, Senna can't actually punish me that much early on, and I'm just going to scale alongside you. So you can kind of go column A, or you can go column B, where you're saying, all right, we're going to play like a hard 2v2 lane and try to slam you with like Nico and Poke or whatever, things like that. So it'll be interesting to see the approach that TL does elect to take.
And already we see the Wukong Annie combination locked in, super potent combination.
Let's dive.
We saw this working out so well for so many teams at MSI. Meanwhile, River is on the J4.
The classic pick.
I would say like one of his signature,
His most
if not
iconic,
his
I think.
signature.
Yeah,
pick,
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, everyone, when I think of River, I think of him doing some cooked gank where like you never would expect
Level 2 Jarvan.
Exactly, he's coming from some crazy angle. I mean, even on the Trundle, he was able to pull it off. Like the way he utilized vision, it's such a subtle thing, but it was so smart how he played around the vision that they had spotted getting put down to get that first blood on APA. And on a champion like Jarvan, he can be even more creative here. You know, can come from more difficult angles to actually anticipate. And it's feeling like already we're kind of going into a similar game as last game, where it's like 100 Thieves are going scaling, they're going like, okay, absorb the engage, be able to actually take the longer fight, where TL is looking like it's the shotgun comp once again. It's Annie, it's Wukong, it's Renekton, it's everyone flying to the back line, and you one-shot one of the carries or bust.
Which is super interesting, right? Because when we think of 100 Thieves, we think of them as like the heavy skirmish team. You and I were kind of joking off camera about how if you looked at those drafts, you know, blind, you might be like, oh, the draft on the left definitely belongs to 100 Thieves in game 1. It didn't. Another thing I do want to point out, though, is Impact, like blind Renekton is something he kind of often goes towards, and we did see that hover from Sniper on the first pick. So I think that's also might be a little bit of a takeaway, but something he kind of defaults towards in a lot of these scenarios.
Yeah, it's something he's obviously super comfortable on. I like the TK ban. It is kind of an obvious pairing, obviously, with the Senna, but especially when you're going to fully commit towards dive, I think you really do just have to kind of take that away. You know, we do see Nautilus as another really common pairing, so I wouldn't be surprised if they want to attack that Senna to ban away that Nautilus here on that final ban. But you can also throw protection bans for the Renekton if you are concerned about something that Sniper might bring out.
All right, let's see what we get. There, and there it is. Yeah,
through.
tossing out one of those bruiser versus bruiser
That's
matchups.
not my flash, so you're not getting me.
True. I also have flash on F9.
I'm not going to agree with you guys because
Well, you are wrong.
Well, no, wait. You said that's your flash. Wait, you said I also have flash.
I also have flash on.
I said that is not my flash, so he's not getting it.
It's not your flash.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not
No,
on
yeah,
you.
F is for flash.
Yeah.
Anything
okay,
else
we're
is wrong.
united.
Okay.
This cast is united.
Exactly.
Good. All right, cool. We're on the same. I was about ready to rage quit. I had to. All right, so let's see where we're at. As Rakan and Poppy are banned away by 100 Thieves, they don't want the steadfast presence to be able to stop any type of big engages that they would want to do. Also stopping some of the engage potential there of Team Liquid. But we're going to see CoreJJ on a classic here, putting him on the Alistar. If you have this team that's ready to full send, Alistar is great for starting up dives, for being the initiator and getting things going, roaming around.
Yeah, this does leave the Nautilus up to pair with the Senna. It also, I'm wondering if they're just kind of waiting to see whether they want to go Jhin or not, because I think Jhin is something that would fit really well within this TL composition. Potentially waiting to just see what the rest of 100 Thieves looks like, the Cassante, and then there's the Nautilus we talked about.
Yeah, this is interesting. You know, they're coming out here, and you would not expect these to be the Sniper champions, right? He's going Sion game 1, he's going Cassante game 2. Last split, Sniper played 0 games of either. So
Okay.
you know, it is a very different start to split 3. Obviously, you know, can just be kind of what they are believing fits into the meta. They have brought on, you know, Dokla as this positional coach. I was talking to him on stage before I interviewed Sniper, and he was saying, you know, that is his role, to specifically work with Sniper to help him improve. And, you know, maybe this is some of that influence here from Dokla, trying to help Sniper be able to kind of broaden that champion pool, play a different style. Game 1 did not really work out. We'll have to see if they can make it happen here in game number 2.
Yeah, I really think that the Cassante kind of matches closer to what you would expect from Sniper. There is still outplay potential on it. You do still have the ability to flex your mechanics and be a little stylish. Sion walks up, uses his shield on the wave, smacks it, and gets 20 health, right? It doesn't exactly seem like a Sniper champ.
And Sniper has played a lot of Cassante in the past. He just didn't play it last split. So definitely, I do agree. It's kind of more his bread and butter.
Yeah, I was going to say, even out of lane, right? Because I still don't think he looks comfortable as the team's main frontliner, especially in a front-to-back composition like we kind of saw from game 1, right? Once TL were able to separate out a lot of those fights, he wasn't really able to frontline or keep people off of FBI. The Cassante allows a lot more of what I think 100 Thieves kind of want a team fight to look like, where they are kind of splitting things up, where they are being a little bit more skirmishy, just based on what has given this team success previously.
It's also interesting to see the final pick here for Yeon was the Ezreal. Obviously, there is some dive on the other side that he wants to be aware of. But also, Ezreal can assist on the dive himself, you know, with the True Shot Barrage, throwing that in the back line when you do throw in all of these tools that they have. So it's going to be interesting to see how they want to play these fights out. You know, Quid does feel like he is going to have a target pain on his back. FBI is going to have a target pain on his back. You know, those are going to be what everyone on TL is going for, just like in game 1. And while the start was good for 100 Thieves, in those later fights, they were the ones getting zeroed out. They were the ones getting caught and burst down. So we'll see if they can actually keep their carries alive in the second game and push us to a game 3.
And my eyes are on River. He had a good start in the previous game, the level 3 Trundle kill on the Taliyah in mid lane, immediately setting his mid laner up for some success. Now back on his iconic Jarvan.
What is
I'm
this
excited
tweet?
to see it again.
From Golden Glue,
7 years
LTA
ago,
North.
Scion Speedway medal. This man was keeping receipts for quite a while.
7 years.
Yeah, that's...
Science Speedway is the throwback. That was actually a lot of fun. We used to do a lot of competitions where they'd make a race course on Scion, and apparently he won. Kangas, tell us all about it.
Well, we'll get to that one shortly, Azael. But first, I want to reflect on something that Sniper said before Game 1 there, Golden Glue, that with 100 Thieves not around next year, players are playing to get scouted by other teams. How does that affect your role as a coach of this split?
I mean, you know, it doesn't change that much for me. It's mainly just everyone's got to be playing their best and performing. It's kind of happening right now. We're fighting. But, you know, it's kind of natural where, like, everyone just wants to do their best and play their best champions. And it's very cohesive with, you know, coaching a team.
All right, well, happy to hear that. Also, I wanted to give you something because you mentioned we don't give a physical coach of the award split anymore, but I had this made for you. So I'm going to put this on to recognize last year coach of the year. And also, we know that Science Speedway, we also owed you from 7 years ago. So we're going to give you that ribbon. If we are missing anything else, let us know. We'll make sure that we rectify that. For now, that's us. Back to the casters.
All right, thank you very much, everybody. And here we go. We're
so
still
happy.
back to scrapping to the 2v2 bottom side as Yeon and Core keep the pressure on, and FBI and Eyla are forced away from the wave.
And as they should. I mean, Senna just feels not... I'm underselling it. It's not fun to play. Senna herself, I think, is actually pretty fun to play once you get out of this kind of early laning phase, but her early laning is definitely not the power, and it kind of feels bad until you are able to lock in that static shiv, right? So it does make sense, especially after that level 1, that this Ezreal is kind of shoving them in.
Yeah, and while you are going to get pushed in, you know, as long as you don't actually get killed, trading like this is great for Senna because you're just getting stacks every time that they are going for this, and especially when you're playing fleet, and you can get pass-through queues. If you can get a pass-through queue, you know, through your support onto them, like that is the dream because you're dealing damage, you're killing both of you, and you're kind of creating this really health-positive trade here. Yeon, though, obviously, you know, he's not feeling threatened in this 2v2. He's playing teleport, so he's going to be playing, you know, 4 tempo. Can, when you get push, sometimes just take this quick base, TP right back, and try to keep the Senna lane locked. Impact, though.
Immediately, River getting involved once again. Level 3 PvP. 100 Thieves. First blood in the top side. River setting it up for Sniper.
I'm going to miss River so much, guys. I love watching River find these angles. They actually did, I believe, end up spotting him out on a ward, and then Impact ends up dying to that gank anyway on the top side. But I always just love that River is constantly trying to find these creative ways. Yeah, so he is coming off of here. They will see him on that ward, and then I think he just kind of waits it out until he feels like he can go in onto Impact.
Oh yeah, they forced out the slice, and then as soon as he uses that, it just goes right back in. And that's just well played. I mean, I think from that position, Impact is thinking, okay, he's either down by the scuttle or he's like recalling or he's not still going to be there. But getting the slice forced out early there, and then Impact decides because he has no slice, he's not even going to use the flash. I think, you know, at that position, he's making the call that, all right, I'm not actually going to get out here. But that is River Jarvan, to me, most iconic pick. FBI in trouble, though.
Yeah, FBI's got to be careful down here in bottom lane as, again, Yeon and CoreJJ just finding that opportunity for damage whenever they can. But yeah, River over a 75% lifetime win rate on J4 is some pretty nasty work.
And the KP is like 86% KP over 30-something games. That's nuts.
Eyla trying to barely get away here. Yeon shifting forward aggressively. The last Mystic shot gets blocked, but it won't matter. There's still enough damage in the air, and Team Liquid ties the game up 1-1.
And even though River's there, he's not going to be able to do anything about it, right? Like, you kind of saw he was potentially getting himself into a position where he'd be able to help out that 2v2. Really great punish coming out of Yeon and Core onto FBI and Eyla.
And that's actually pre-teleport. So FBI has to hang around. He can't actually base because he would lose too much on the wave. So we'll see where Yeon wants to go. But I want to talk about all of these Ziggs buffs. We saw that the nerf, the ban actually came through. And even though people really associate this pick with APA, it wasn't actually one of the most banned champions against them last split. So I do think we're going to see a lot more Ziggs from APA this split. And we're going to see a lot more attention on it just in pick and ban. Teams are going to be having to ban it out, which can help them. Because one of the concerns that a lot of people had for TL is how they perform in Fearless. They felt that they were more limited in the different styles that they can actually play. So even if you don't get the Ziggs, the fact that it gets a buff and is drawing bans is already beneficial for them in draft.
Yeah, and as we see, so off of that play, I mean, I just really like the way that TL are using this bot side pressure here, right? Like getting Core out onto the map to lay down vision. They end up with that first Ocean Drake off of these plays they're able to make bot lane. Sniper should be fine. He's Cassante.
And Team Liquid feels confident moving forward and putting the pressure on Sniper like that when he's this close to the turret because he's just barely not level 6. There's no opportunity yet for the real Cassante moment with the all-out under the turret. So Core and Yeon are just going to keep that pressure building.
Yeah, he hits 6 now, so dive obviously would be difficult. This was a small thing, but I actually love when I see players, going for these little micro plays where as Core was walking towards Sniper, Sniper's obviously going to try to Pathmaker as soon as he goes for the combo. So Core kept hitting S key and like stop moving, so it looks like it's about to start an animation over and over as he was walking towards him. And then once he's really close, he went for the headbutt, and basically Sniper couldn't react in time. So I just thought that was really clever, as it does get the cleanse out. No way he's going to be able to actually chase down and kill here, but is able to trade the ulti for FBI's cleanse. And it's just nice seeing players play those mind games, trying to really juke people out and create these small advantages.
Okay, we've got 7 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock, which means it's about time for the Grubs to spawn. Now, last game, we did see a trade in the Grubs, a 1-2 split, but neither side really wanting to fight over them. Instead, just kind of agreeing that nobody gets the full pot, the full prize in that topside river. This time around, you can see Impact popping that Dominus on the Renekton to get control of the topside wave, to be able to set up so that Team Liquid can have the prep that they need for this objective. CoreJJ, happy to hang out in this brush for a good long while. We'll go ahead and use the sweeper, find the ward placed down there by 100 Thieves, clear that one out. And they do want to get this last wave shoved up here. You can see Yuuji on the Wukong, does have ulti, does have flash. APA singing the same song here in mid, and that Wukong Annie combo can be so deadly at neutral objective fights. Now, Yeon's got to be careful though. Sniper's going all out. Yeon might just go down. Sniper with the solo bolo. Meanwhile, topside, we aren't done just yet. CoreJJ's got to be careful because 100 Thieves have control over the topside river in the Grub pit.
The timing on the all-out there from Sniper was sick. He actually pulled him out of the arcane shift. That is why Yeon goes down.
CoreJJ going in now as 100 Thieves are scrambling to try to fight. Yuuji with a Cyclone finds a knock up onto 3. Cast number 2 ain't going to get a whole lot here just yet as Impact and Core looking for the kill onto River, and Impact gets that first one. Now CoreJJ staying alive. The aftershock keeping him tanky as Quid can't get anything, and TL is just burying corpses in the river.
Man, multiple times now, the timing goes the way of TL. We go back to this bot lane play. It's all about the timing on the all-out. Sniper is able to buffer it on Yeon and pull him out of the arcane shift, because as soon as you press it, it is going through even after the arcane shift. That is beautifully done. Punishes the missing flash. And now watch the Cyclone timing here from Yuuji. Interrupts the flag and drag there from River. So as he goes through here, he throws out the E for this flag and drag. He's trying to look to get in the back line, immediately interrupted on it, then couldn't actually get in range to go through on the flag and drag, goes forward, and Impact just flashes on him, immediate punish. FBI doesn't have the damage as Quid gets knocked down to be able to finish off really any of these players. It's just so early in the game. Quid has no damage. He's building towards a catalyst. Like, that's all he has. They can't finish anyone. It's these little plays from TL that make such a difference in that moment. And then, of course, for Sniper on the other side of the map.
Yeah, really good recognition from TL, especially since I think 100 Thieves felt a little bit safe, right? Because they had gotten prio mid from the Viktor. They had been able to rotate up and get first crack at those Grubs. And this is what I was missing from TL in game 1, right? The response and kind of being united in what we want to do. That was a really, really nice initiation from Yuuji and a really nice follow-up from Impact.
So Team Liquid now, they've already got the feat of Warfare, 4 kills to 2. They are 1 neutral objective away from securing the Empowered Boots now as well, because they got 2 out of 3 of the Grubs, because they got the first Drake. Team Liquid feeling really good about the current state of the game, feeling really good about that spicy Grub fight that they got, and the massive dub over 100 Thieves up there as FBI on the Senna, just about to tick 30 stacks, but he's still a long way from being effective.
Core's looking. He wants this.
Let's see what we get. CoreJJ hitting away, going in for the headbutt. There it is, pulverized. Now line him up, knock him down. Yeon gets the kill there. Now CoreJJ should be dead to right, so it'll be a 1-for-1. But that's support for AD carry. Team Liquid's going to take that.
Exactly, and Yeon is the one who gets the kill, so it's even better for them as we're going to have a fight on this top side.
Okay, Impact putting the pressure onto Quid. Is going to need some more damage if he wants a kill there, but nope, not even forcing out the flash. Instead, just taking the tempo and the HP control as APA's got to be careful. Sniper, again, pressuring, forcing APA to step back.
He flashed for that.
Yeah, I think he thought he was going to be able to get the Q3 slow and then be able to actually get an all-out angle for it, but didn't actually have his Q3 prep, so it was just the Intofo strike slow.
And more importantly, this will give first rotation to 100 Thieves on this Drake. We'll see if TL want to contest. We have Ezreal TPing into mid.
Okay, 100 Thieves with all the control right now, though. It looks like even if TL show up, it's just going to be for a punish, not a true contest on the objective. Sniper here on the front takes a little bit of pain, but honestly, still just shrugging it off. He's feeling fine. Yeon, feeling safe enough on his Ezreal, can just arcane shift back over the wall there as 100 Thieves will take the objective and get out safe.
And then crucially on this top side, Impact's Renekton was dirty farming beyond this turret, gets a lot of damage onto this tier 2 turret. In response, kind of decided not to end up TPing in for a dragon contest. When TL are in these kinds of positions, the thing for me that makes them such a strong team is when they're able to set up on the map and kind of leverage different sides of the map to always get an advantage. So even if 100 Thieves does something, they end up with a little bit of a bonus out of it.
And it just feels like a lot, honestly, is going well for TL this game. I kind of expected Quid to have more of a lane lead, you know, in this matchup. Annie often struggles against some of these control mages that can outrange her, where she can't take these good early trades. You can sometimes just kind of get out farmed, poke down slowly. But APA has been doing well. We'll have to be careful as Eyla is moving down to this side of the map. But APA with a slight gold lead early on is going to be feeling pretty happy about his positioning, especially given that TL were just able to out-execute in the team fights last game, even from a deficit. But TL really is looking to just kind of bounce back from last split. They finished 4th overall in 2024 spring. They went there first. They obviously won again, in split 1 here as well to go to first stand. And that's kind of the expectations that had been set for them. Across last year and coming into this year, it was the story of TL trying to get these big wins internationally. And they kind of fell off pretty hard last split. They really struggled, I think, with the lane swap changes, also with the move towards Fearless. Both those things did seem to hurt them. And we're seeing if they can get this bounce back.
Okay, Eyla under pressure. CoreJJ and APA need a little bit more damage to secure the kill. Dawning Shadow comes through. The shield on Eyla, enough to keep him protected, as Team Liquid wanted that kill on the support, but just barely missed out on enough damage to get it done.
Yeah, and we'll see how they're able to regroup. They did not get much from that outside of some really deep vision.
Okay, River trying to re-engage now with a CoreJJ, but he's got to be careful because Yuuji's ready to go with a Cyclone. Flash back out from the 100 Thieves jungler, looking to stay safe. As 100 Thieves still staying alive for now. Sniper still up there in that top side, getting things pushed out on the Cassante. But now that this scrapping has calmed down a little bit, I do 100% agree with what you were saying, Isaac. When we talk about things that change in League of Legends, we talk about buffs and nerfs to items and to champions. But I think Team Liquid, at least in LTA, was the team most affected by the systems changes of lane swaps, of Fearless now being the default, and it really has caused them to lose some of that footing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's easy to forget, but the way that we talk about FlyQuest now is the way that people were talking about TL last year, right? They were talking about TL as, okay, they're on the precipice of taking down these big Eastern teams. Multiple times they took T1 last year to 3 games in a best of 3. They were really looking like they were going to be able to kind of cross that threshold. And then these changes came in, and all of a sudden they weren't even really at the top of the LTA. So we're seeing, can they get back to those winning ways here and topple teams like FlyQuest to even get a crack at the teams that they were looking for last year, like T1.
Yeah, and I do like some of the things I've seen out of them more in this game, right? Like a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more cohesion. One thing that did happen while we were going through that, as just land timbers on Quid, is that Impact had TP'd back down, so he is not going to have it for this fight.
Okay, 100 Thieves with control over the pit. Herald's going to lose its patience and reset, though. Impact has already taken that turret down there on the bottom side, and he'll have to walk his way up here. 100 Thieves still trying to maintain control. Tibbers harassing people low, but does end up snapping back. Yeon is all alone just poking at these guys, playing on the edge of Ezreal's range. Eyla wants to go in after him, but Yeon with a flash away, trying to escape as Eyla and FBI are on the hunt, but the Herald's already going to be claimed by River. Eyla now in danger as Impact jumps over the wall. wall to slice and dice and save Yeon's life as APA barely staying alive alongside Yuuji up here on the top side. But finally, Sniper falls. River reinforced by Quid, and the Wukong dies before we can get another heal. Now FBI still trying to escape, but CoreJJ is ready to cut off that path. Team Liquid should get this last kill here in the fight. Impact gets the stun, so 3 kills for 2, favoring Team Liquid's side, but the Rift Herald did go over to 100 Thieves.
What a crazy split fight with Yeon kind of flanking as Ezreal, really playing with fire, waiting for Impact to be able to rotate up. Like we talked about, he'd already burned his TP well prior to this fight. He is so aggressive in just getting damage onto here, and you see Impact is still walking up, right? So I also think Yuuji and APA on the backside kind of do a good job with Sniper and River here as well.
I really love this. I mean, Impact on the other side, getting a lot of work done. Obviously, as he arrives, Yeon bought so much time, and the way that he played the angles, flashing over the wall, not giving a hook angle to Eyla, really made things tough there.
Okay, 100 Thieves now back after the next objective, though. It's time for another scrap if Team Liquid wants it. 100 Thieves still with control over the pit, and they will secure themselves their second Drake of the game. CoreJJ wrapping around, looking for a flank angle here. River jumps back over the wall, though, and finally Core shows himself. There's the headbutt pulverized, and Quid's going to be your first target. Impact goes on a rampage, and 100 Thieves are going back to the safety of the turrets. Team Liquid patiently wait. They spring the trap. And now that they've got the kill on that enemy mid laner, now that they've killed off the wave clear, they can force their way down mid, take out the tier 1 turret, and they're putting pressure on the tier 2. CoreJJ again threatening a flank, but now he's in danger as River has found him out. Core trying to make his escape once again as Ayla's the next target for TL. Impact knocked up into the air underneath the tier 2 turret. Meanwhile, River trying to scrap with the entirety of Team Liquid, and they are just gonna dry him out. River mopped up in the jungle as Team Liquid continues their retreat. Sniper trying to step up here, but TL grouped up as a unit. They want to take the red before they go.
I love when Core is just constantly looking for these angles, right? We talked about the trade-off of kind of like wasting your time or getting caught out, really playing with the border of am I cut out or am I going in, but immediately recognizes, okay, I'm getting onto Quid, super high prio target. We're taking this Viktor out of the fight immediately. He's been looking for these angles all game.
I mean, he's playing on that Razor's Edge, and now they're going to TP here onto Sniper.
Yeah, Sniper wanted the kill on APA. He sees the Annie that's seemingly alone, low on mana, not many resources to work with. He might not have many spells, but he's got a whole lot of teammates backing him up. Sniper trying to get away with some fancy footwork, but Impact will run him down. Team Liquid picking up another kill. Yes, Quid will get a turret back, the tier 1 in the top lane, but TL is still looking so good. 3,500 gold lead.
And Impact in this series has been very effective, and he is coming off of what was a surprising split. To me, it was one of the worst he's ever had. So these rankings are out of the 22 splits that he has played in professional play here, the rankings against his own self. So, 19th out of 22 as far as the damage per minute per difference. His laning was not as strong. He had almost no solo kills, throughout the entire split. And you need to see him playing at his best because he was such a core component of TL's success in that previous year, winning MVP just last year.
Yuuji in trouble as 100 Thieves continue their chase. Yuuji with a flash away. River's ready to back him up. The Dawning Shadow does enough damage, and River stays alive with a Triumph proc so that Impact can't trade one back. 100 Thieves, they had their goal. They barely got it, but close counts in this one as the Rift Herald is summoned up. River, Quid, Eyla, FBI, the whole squad's down here except for Sniper, who's trying to defend up in the top lane against the counter pressure from Team Liquid. 100 Thieves trying to get as much gold off of this as they can, and they will brute force their way through the tier 1 turret.
I don't hate this from 100 Thieves, right? Just kind of overloading a side where they recognize they can make a play, dropping that Herald, trying to draw more even with TL. APA is going to be able to clean up this tier 2 turret in mid, though.
Yeah, and one of the big concerns is FBI has just been struggling to even get farm, right? He's at 130 CS at 20 minutes, which for a professional level AD carry, that is very rare to see farm this low. He does have a lot of stacks because they have been scrapping quite a bit. He's at 60 stacks. That is quite a good mark at this point in the game still. But that being said, you need the gold behind it still.
It's tough, man. This Senna is not the cannon that 100 Thieves needs right now. Static Shiv, the only fully completed item here. Quid at least does have his Leandry's fully completed, Rod nearly fully stacked. CoreJJ fully engaging onto River as the 100 Thieves jungler's been caught out. The chain CC locks him up long enough for Yeon's True Shot Barrage to deal the killing blow. TL finding the freebie kill there on the 100 Thieves jungler, but there's not a whole lot they can earn off the back of it right now. Yes, Otacon is alive, but it is still a pretty risky proposition with everybody else from 100 Thieves hanging around, but it does look like that's what's in the sights of Impact and Yuuji as they're moving up there as a two-man unit. Everybody else on TL still keeping 100 Thieves' eyes down here in the river in mid lane.
Yeah, we'll see Impact peeling off of it.
Otacon is getting low.
Yeah.
They've just kind of been slowly doing this. I mean, you can solo this thing if they don't come. 100 Thieves is showing up, but the question is, are they too late? Because Yeon and Core are behind them.
Impact's already ready to go as well with the dominance locking up Quid. They're putting the focus on the 100 Thieves mid laner. Now FBI is going to be first to die. Yeon goes on a killing spree. Eyla and Quid trying to get all the way away, but Impact's got the call to make to guarantee it. Now Quid's barely hanging on to life, and Sniper's about to drop two. A double kill for the Crocodile. And Team Liquid finds another back-breaking fight in the top side river.
And you may have been distracted by Impact kind of going in, right, and finding Quid, but Yeon just immediately dove on to FBI, absolutely destroyed him. The impact he's having on this now 4-1-7 Ezreal, really playing so aggressively in a lot of these team fight setups is paying off dividends for TL.
I mean, Yeon is looking insane in both of these games. He is playing so damn well. And you called it out. It's Yeon here. You know, obviously they are going in onto Quid, but as Quid flashes away, look at Yeon get super aggressive into FBI. FBI is just trying to step forward and back him up. Hits the Q, hits the W. E forward, immediately deletes him there with the help of APA. Well, Impact in the backline is just running over 100 Thieves. They cannot stop him whatsoever, and this game is looking like it is pretty much all wrapped up. At this point, Yeon is 3 levels ahead of FBI. He's the same level as the guy with the full stack Roa.
And now Impact's leading the charge again. CoreJJ right behind them, and Quid is down. Yeon on a rampage. Team Liquid, they have found their lead, and they are absolutely suffocating 100 Thieves with it. The Thieves don't get a chance to breathe, even in their own side of the map. Team Liquid has taken over everything. They're laying down the vision. They're making the map dark. They're taking all the camps, and 100 Thieves can't scrounge up a lot.
And I'm so glad you brought up Impact, Azael, earlier, right? Because I feel like we talked about this kind of blind Renekton, something he goes to often. 100 Thieves actually did target it early, right? With that super early level 3 river gank. But once again, his team fight impact, pardon the pun, has been massive. He's really recognized, okay, we need to take Quid out immediately. He's constantly diving the back line. And that is what is leaving so much space open for Yeon to play as aggressively as he has.
Oh boy, Eyla not finding what he wanted there with the brush. Immediately, Yuuji and CoreJJ putting plenty of damage into the Nautilus. Not enough to kill him here just yet. True Shot Barrage nearly does it. Team Liquid just barely miss out on getting a kill there. But nowhere is safe. That is the brush right next to your base wall. And Eyla nearly gets killed 100-0 just for having the audacity to face check.
I mean, Yeon is over 3,000 gold ahead of FBI at this point. It's going to need a lot of stacks to make up for that deficit. And Yeon is just playing so aggressive with it. It's really nice seeing TL come out so confident in how they are playing these games. I think they started a little bit slow, a little bit shaky in game number 1. But once they started going, they were crushing it on their execution in those fights. And in game 2, they are just looking amazing.
CoreJJ could be in some trouble, though. 100 Thieves targeting the Alistar, but the Unbreakable Willow makes it very hard to complete the job. APA steps out of the way of the Dawning Shadow, but River's ready to back up the Thieves' assault. That's a shutdown for Sniper. APA falls. Nice pickup for 100 Thieves there.
Yeah, and they just ended up getting Core kind of caught out on his exit. I mean, this is kind of what 100 Thieves have to do to stay in the game, right? Like, try to either overload one side and take someone out in a side lane if they're like trying to reset waves, or end up finding a pick like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Yeon is massively ahead. Impact is massively ahead. They knew Impact had no TP, and he's showing up elsewhere on the map, so you can try to overload one side, force the play there, look for that punish. You know, TL trying to do a little bit too much on the map at once. If you're playing both sides without teleport, it is going to be something that can get punished. In this case, they do kill off APA, but at the very least, they didn't even get his flash. So honestly, not that big of a deal. It is a bit of kill gold, but Baron wasn't up. There was nothing for them to really grab. You know, well, like, it would have been way too risky to try to go for that Baron. So it's just going to be back to this kind of same position once more. And TL are going to be setting up around that Baron, while 100 Thieves are just going to be trying to establish as much vision control as they can to stop TL if they start it.
So, I mean, what is the 100 Thieves game plan at this point? Is it just 50
Scale.
minutes, Senna, Viktor, the dream?
Senna, Viktor, go
like
late.
That's it? Okay, that's about all they can do. But Team Liquid's making it hard, man. The True Shot Barrage from Yeon just took off about 45% of FBI's health in one shot. Not exactly a great time to be dealing with this Ezreal. Yeon, so powerful, so much damage, just constantly firing out this poke, making it so obnoxious for anybody from 100 Thieves to try to step forward and figure out what Team Liquid is up to. Yuuji is finally going to pop the sweeper there. See that he was on top of a ward. Eyla finds CoreJJ with a dredge line, but the supports aren't going to result in a whole lot here just yet. CoreJJ trying to be unbreakable here as we start off the fight. 100 Thieves with a lot of focus down onto the Alistar, but now the flank attack from Team Liquid's ready to back him up. 100 Thieves still scrambling, trying to get away as Ayla's first to fall. APA barely staying alive with the True Shot Barrage, ripping through 100 Thieves' health bars. APA finally dies, but River's going with them, and Yeon is unstoppable. He's feeling it, he's styling on them. 100 Thieves are out of there, and Team Liquid go 5 for 1.
Yeon, what was that fight? That was crazy. He shifts in on them on the 1v3, gets flashed on as he goes over into the pit, and then he just flashes back over the wall away from Sniper onto the carries, taking them out. This guy is locked in. That fight was insane from Yeon. What a performance on this Ezreal.
Yeah, I want to see this again because here they're going to go in onto core, and 100 Thieves kind of thinks, okay, you know, we'll be able to go in. Alistar survives for a very long time, and it allows them to come in on the flank on the back half of this, even with the Dawning Shadow coming over. Just watch Yeon through this entire sequence.
Yeah, this is so sick. So he's going to shift over into the pit here, hits the Q to get the kill, and Sniper says, no, 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 I'm going to turn on you, flashes over the wall to go for him. He flashes back over the wall, in onto FBI, helps to finish him off as well. Yeon is playing to the limit. He's playing on the knife's edge, and 100 Thieves are the only ones getting cut.
100 Thieves falling apart in the fight there. I mean, they were already down 6,000 gold at the beginning of the fight. That's very difficult to play. There's a reason that they were so far out of where they needed to be in that fight. Team Liquid capitalized. The gold lead now, no longer 6,000. We're up to 9,000. The whole enemy jungle belongs to Team Liquid, and there's just not a whole lot of ways for 100 Thieves to come back.
Yeah, and I mean, again, it's going to come down to some sort of mistake from TL on the siege, I think. TL, usually when they're in position, don't make those mistakes. We'll see if 100 Thieves are able to get onto them, but this should be a clean win for TL as they're kind of setting up this push in mid and simultaneously Impact on the bot side, going to be escorting these waves in.
The classic 4-1 split. Impact keeping the bottom lane enchanted while most of the pressure is in mid from the other 4 players on TL. The mid lane tier 3 turret down to about 10-15% of its HP. The next wave, they should just be able to hard force this down. River waiting between the 2 lanes. Eyla goes in again, but once more, it's only on a CoreJJ. Counterattack from Team Liquid as Core and Yuuji jump in, but they don't want to overcommit. River jumps out of the base off to the side, but Impact's the only available target, and the Renekton is very powerful. Team Liquid backing up a little bit, playing this one slightly slower. They've already broken the base. Their health bars are injured a little bit, so they're going to err on the side of caution and regroup.
Yeah, exactly. They can go, they can spend all of their gold here and look to actually play for this dragon. You know, nearly 2K in the pockets of Yeon. There's a good 1,300 in the pockets for APA as well, so they want to buy before they actually fight once more. So they're going to move themselves here to Soul Point. And this is total damage done. I asked for this because I had a suspicion that Yeon was going to be doing a lot of damage. And yes, he is, in fact, doing a lot. This guy has been on point on the Ezreal. Once he got the lead, he's just playing so in their face, knowing that if they send everything on him, he has the mobility to get out, to stay safe, to stay alive. And it's just making it so impossible, I feel like, for 100 Thieves to play around.
I will also say, I think, I want to give credit to both Impact and Yuuji as well for being that kind of front line, able to keep, you know, Sniper off of Yeon, right? Like, he has this kind of extra protection that has allowed him to play so aggressively.
I also just think it's crazy. I mean, Quid went with the Rose. We got a free level. He has nearly 10 CS per minute, and he's still almost an entire level behind Yeon, who is the highest level in the game, almost 18.
That situation right there could have gotten so much crazier very quickly. Yuuji just jumping in, popping his powerful cooldowns to clear out the camp. Meanwhile, the entire time, Eyla is just praying that nobody steps into the brush and notices that he's there. That one had me sweating, man. That Nautilus, he's lucky to get out alive. But the Team Liquid pressure continues now. At least there's no more Baron for 100 Thieves to have to try to tank through. But the map is not theirs. They're holding on to nothing outside of their own base. Team Liquid is continuing this plan. And remember, back when Team Liquid was the best squad in the league, they would get their leads, they would then move into the enemy jungle, they would choke you out of vision, and just win by snowballing resources. And right now, that snowball has turned into an avalanche.
Yeah, and Baron and that Drake are also going to be desynced too, so TL can kind of set up wherever they want on the map and really force 100 Thieves to come to them.
I will say one positive thing for 100 Thieves, 100 stacks now for the Senna. So Senna definitely is scaling. Of course, they are massively behind. They're 10,000 gold down. There is going to be Soul in 3 minutes that they have to answer. But if they can somehow keep holding on, you maybe have that kind of hope, but realistically, TL should be able to close out this game with the next Baron, and I think that is going to be the question for 100 Thieves. Can you somehow stop them from getting that Baron? Can River get a miracle steal to delay the game? Because if not, the gold lead is so massive.
Man, Senna's going to need another 100 stacks if you've got a Renekton and a Wukong with a Cloud Soul going after her. That is a nightmare scenario. She needs to be 2 screens away just to have a chance. As Team Liquid continuing to keep the pressure on. Eyla, once again, these dredge lines are only for CoreJJ. We consistently see them find the Alistar, but nobody else on Team Liquid is giving Eyla the angle to hit anything. Now Impact trying to back away here from Quid and River, drops the dominance as soon as he sees River commit the Cataclysm, but they just don't hurt him. The Croc gets away.
And in the meantime, TL are just pushing in on this bot side. They're going to take bot inhibitor off of that.
Yeah, freebie there for Team Liquid, but now the rest of the fight might start heating up. No, Sniper still just fine here on the front line with the Pathmaker, but TL using Impact as the distraction. Now Ayla's in danger. CoreJJ jumps right over the wall. They find the enemy support. Nautilus out of the picture means a 5v4 for TL. They've got Tibbers to lead the charge towards the Nexus turrets. They're waiting on the minion waves too. They've already cleared the inhibitors out in 2 lanes, and now they're grouped up, ready for what might be the very end of the game here. Chaos Storm has to get committed. Yuuji jumps right back in on Quid. The Viktor's down, and Yeon is legendary. The waves have arrived, and Team Liquid's ready to end this game. Double knockup coming out from CoreJJ as Sniper has to try to get out, but not even Cassante is going to survive the true shot barrage. Team Liquid find another as River tries to kill the wave, and Yeon kills FBI on the steps of his own fountain with one last Mystic shot. Eyla respawns just in time to see the ruins of his base and the corpses of his team, and he'll join them once more. APA gets that last kill, maybe just one more for good measure, as River can't do anything to stop the TL onslaught. 27-9, make it 28. Team Liquid slams this second game and takes the series 2-0.